Okay, Raleigh, well, 2022 is flying along. We're almost at the end of March in the first quarter, so we thought we'd do a first quarter wrap-up of our life here in Raleigh, new things we've done in the Triangle area, life events with us, and things coming up. So have you seen the first quarter of 2022, Caroline?
It's great. And let's be honest, we were on our walk yesterday and we're like, we've got to record some podcasts because we'll talk about it in a moment, but we're going away for a couple of weeks. And we're like, oh my God, what are we going to do? And then we just said, well, why don't we just do a quarterly wrap? So we didn't actually put a lot of thinking into this podcast and planning for it. It was a spur of the moment thing. So let us know what you think of it because we want to do it regularly because we have a newsletter that goes out every week. Mm-hmm. And in that newsletter, we put our fresh finds, so things that we're discovering in Raleigh, or it might be if we go on a getaway to the beach, something cool we might discover there, to share it with you, to help you find cool things in the city. And we also share events and things that are coming up and happening for the next week. And it's been quite popular with our subscribers. They're really enjoying it. They're loving that we're introducing them to cool things. We also sometimes might share, like if we listen to a cool podcast episode, we like to listen to them a lot. Like for last week, I shared Tim Ferriss's interview with Hugh Jackman. Not related to Raleigh at all, but totally cool. So we share that stuff as well. And because that's been a good hit, we thought, why not on the podcast? We can't do a monthly wrap. That's a bit much, but do a quarterly. And we can share within that podcast cool things we're finding, what's coming up. And, you know, our intention is to help you fall in love with Raleigh more if you're not already giddy head over heels in love. We're going to get you there.
Yes, no, you do a great job with that email weekly wrap up. And if you're not subscribed to that, it's easy and free to do that on our website, thisisriley.com. And I just want to mention when you listen to this podcast, which will be published a week from now, we'll actually be in London. And we're very excited about our first big overseas vacation in like 5 years. And we're super excited about that. So yeah, we got 2 weeks in England, actually, like 10 days in London and then 2 nights each in Bath and Oxford. And we'll do a wrap up podcast about that because I know there's a lot of people in North Carolina, Raleigh area, East Coast that are interested in going to the UK and London. And we're super excited to share our tips, our experiences, because you've lived there previously for 2 years before we got married and another lifetime ago. And you're super excited to retrace those steps.
I am giddy with excitement.
You're beyond yourself. You're driving me crazy. I'm excited, but you're like
crazy.
Obsessed.
I was like tackling Kalara up the stairs the other night, just saying 3 more sleeps. I'm so excited. She's like, Mom, I get it. You're excited. But yeah, I know it's just because when I went to London, I was 21. It was my first time living away from my parents' house. I didn't go to another city. I went to another country.
No, you didn't just
in
go
the northern hemisphere.
Around the corner, or down the road to another town.
Yeah, I travelled hemispheres, very far to go. And you know, we were from, which was near Sydney. Sydney's a big city. Sydney is a tiny city compared to London. So I was 21. I was straight from university. I was going on the adventure of a lifetime. And that experience moving to London completely changed the course of my life because as soon as I arrived, I realised I loved being a little fish in a big bowl. I loved the adventure that came with living in another country because every day was an adventure. Just going to the supermarket was different. And I just made a decision at the time. I think it was unconscious. I didn't realize it, but I made a decision that this was going to be my life forever. I was not going to live in any other way but as a traveller. And that's what I've done since then, which was 1997. So to be going back to that place, that's okay. Wisdom is good. Going back to that place, that changed my life completely. And to just walk those streets again and relive those memories, I'm just excited and absolutely thrilled to be taking our girls. I'd love to stumble out of the pubs again, but with the girls might not happen, but that's all right. As you said, I am showing my age now, so I shouldn't probably be stumbling out of pubs anymore.
Oh,
but
come on.
Geez, they were fun days.
I'll do it for you.
They were fun days. But the good thing about, London at the time, I believe it has changed, but back then the pubs had to close by 11 And so you'd get the last drink, bell would go at 10:30, and you'd kind of be home at a decent hour, sort of. That was one thing going for it, but I don't think they do that anymore. I think they've extended their pub hours.
Let's face it, I guess if you didn't do that trip and make those decisions, we might not be us.
That's
Our
right.
business might not be what it is.
Everything in our life would be different. So
yeah. But I'm super excited to be
exciting.
living in Raleigh and traveling to London because like 8 hours from here
good is
versus going from Sydney, we typically fly into Bangkok or Singapore and then connect to London. We're talking like 24 hours journey.
Easy.
Massive
Longer.
time zone difference.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited to have easy access to the UK and London out of RDU. Unfortunately, the direct Raleigh to London flight doesn't start up till April. So we're just a few weeks too early for that. So we're going to go via JFK, and then from JFK, it's 7.5 hours to London, which is not too bad. I'll take it, but can't wait for the direct.
Yes, that'll be great. And I know people, friends from Europe before have laughed at me when I said, the flight over here was easy. It was only like 8 hours, and they just laugh because to them 8 hours and it is an extremely long flight, but for us it's just a really short flight.
March is coming to a close. This year's going too fast. I don't know about you guys, but the older I get, each year gets just quicker and quicker. But yeah, being in the travel space as we are, finally, travel is starting to open up again, and instead of just 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and hopefully that's the end. The worst days are over in regard to all that the last 2 years.
Yes, and I will just say quickly, if you are interested, I hope you are on the London trip. It's probably going to be a bit late with our stories, but on Why Travel Blog Instagram, I've been sharing in our stories what we're discovering, because we're learning a lot, saving money, planning the trip, all of that. So you can follow the journey on Why Travel Blog, and we will be creating a lot of content on whytravelblog.com as well about our London trip. And if you want to go, we write those posts in order to make it easier, your planning easier for you. Yeah,
if you're new to listening to us, besides our thisisraleigh.com website, our original website is an international travel site. The Y for yellow, travelblog.com. But I'll put a link to that. I will share some stuff on the Raleigh site too, though, snippets and that. And we're also thinking when we get back to do like an information session. So if anyone is really passionate about visiting London and the UK, we're going to, see about holding information sessions that we can come and share our tips and stories and share our photos and videos, itinerary ideas, and people can ask questions and just have a drink and hang out. Nothing formal, just, a gathering.
If you think that sounds like a great idea or something you might want to do, it'd be great if you would let us know. You could send us a DM on Instagram or kazcraig@thisisraleigh.com, because we'd love to know if you think that'd be great, and that might push us to make sure that we get it done.
But the weather's warming up, although the previous weekend when we were down in like the 20s and 30s, you wouldn't know that winter was over, but that was freezing. But the colours are coming out, the leaves are coming back, March Madness is on, the festivals are starting up again fully in April, and we're through our worst time of the year. We just hate winter. So, bye, hopefully, finally.
I think my happiest day of the year is when I start seeing those flowers return and I can open up my windows.
Just
that's a happy feeling.
Just before pollen season kicks in. And then
it's really short-lived, but I'll take it.
But yes, when we get back from London, I'm going to put some screens on our windows finally. So because coming from Australia, we don't like air conditioning. We like fresh air. Open up the windows, but obviously you don't want the pollen everywhere and anywhere. NC State, as far as sport and March Madness, I just mentioned NC State women's are one of the top teams again this year, and we'll be cheering them on. Go the women's Wolfpack. As far as the men's side, you've probably heard before, we're Tar Heel fans. The UNC, they're peaking at the right time. Like a few months ago, they were horrible.
Yeah, they looked like they wouldn't even get in it.
No, they were looking at the NIT, the not invited tournament.
And that was a stretch. Beat Coach K, and that just gave them a whole new lease on life.
Great win at Cameron Indoor and the last game of the season, and now we are scary good. I don't think anyone wants to play the Tar Heels right now. They're firing. But
this might be exciting. We might get a fourth win that we've experienced living here.
Exactly.
The March Madness.
Yes, but we will be back from London for the final, but the final four I think will still be in the UK. but we'll figure it
Right,
out.
Okay, we better find some fires.
The
in
time difference is
Fenchurch
only
Street
it's
to
only
jump
4
over.
hours time difference to London right now, but that'll change while we're there.
Yes, and
So-
no, don't ask me to do the math on that
No.
right now. That just gets a bit too much.
Yeah. So what else? Living in Raleigh, near the start of 22, new experiences we had. Well, we did a staycation recently in downtown Raleigh at the Residence Inn, which was cool, and we'll link to a video and blog post about that. We won't talk too much about it, but it was a great place to stay downtown. You get an easy walk to everywhere: restaurants, bars, Red Hat. But a new place we ate at, not a new place, but finally we ate there, Beasley's Chicken and Honey.
Yeah.
One of the famous classic places in Raleigh, and it just goes to show that we're still scratching the surface, although we've done a lot.
It shows there's so much in this city to experience.
It was great. And I just felt like I was in Raleigh, like a classic southern place. Great fried chicken, and the smoked wings and the biscuits were awesome too.
Yeah, and affordable.
Totally.
I was really surprised by the
Yeah,
prices.
I'll be going back
actually.
again there very soon. And new people that come to Raleigh from out of state or overseas, that's definitely on our list. And speaking of lists, we've also created a 24-hour and 48-hour guides to Raleigh on our blog post for newcomers to Raleigh or people visiting for a weekend.
And we found actually a lot of our readers have really enjoyed those posts because they have friends or family come visit Raleigh and they really don't know what to do with them. And so those posts have really helped them showcase the city to people who are important to them. So if, you're living in Raleigh and that's you, we're going to help you show your friends and family a great time. So
Yeah, we even struggle with it sometimes too. Like we've got our favorites, but like it's handy to have that list there now. And so it's 24 hours or 48 hours is if that's all the time you've got. It's where to eat, drink, play, and stay.
That's right.
All right, we'll link to that.
And you mentioned Beasley's Chicken and Honey. You felt like you were in Raleigh eating Raleigh. Well, we have just had that experience right now here in our podcast room. We have finally tasted a slice of pie. Actually, I've tasted 4 slices of pie from the Slice Pie Company. Kristen was just in here. We just
Kristen
interviewed
Mullins.
her, which is coming out next week.
Yeah.
And this is traditional Raleigh pie. This is a slice of Raleigh. It's a taste of Raleigh here because Kristen's one of the few people that were born and raised here in Raleigh, has no intention of leaving.
Yep.
And she's put that love of Raleigh history, family traditions into these pies.
Absolutely. Home
They're
cooked pies
good.
straight out of Raleigh. Like this is Raleigh right here. I've claimed the pecan.
Oh,
I've
you
got
said it wrong.
again.
Pecan.
Pecan pie.
How do you say apiaries?
Don't ask me. But yeah, she's got a place just south of downtown on South Saunders Street, but we'll link to that again as well. And her podcast is coming out a week after this one, her
That's
interview,
right.
so stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of basketball, we went to an NC State women's game in Reynolds Coliseum, which was awesome.
That's a cool venue. Very
That's
like
a classic
retro
ACC Raleigh
vintage,
venue, the original
Art Deco
like
style
basketball
building.
place
It's
before
cool.
like PNC was built and stuff like that.
That was cool.
But yeah, not too big, great atmosphere, and the women are doing great things again this year. So definitely check that out for an experience in Raleigh, a game at Reynolds Coliseum.
Yeah, and definitely support women's basketball, not
Mm-hmm.
just because it's Women's History Month, but, we have 2 daughters and they often ask the question, well, why aren't the girls' sport as popular or why aren't they getting as paid as much as the men? And so it's that conversation of the more we support women's sport, the more we'll see equity. But it's important that we get out and support them. So we like to go to the women's basketball. We also love going to the women's soccer, which has started last weekend. I think it kicked off again.
Yeah.
And it's really quite a fun night out.
Yeah,
out
yeah.
in Carey.
The park at Wake Med Soccer Park out in Carey, the NC Courage. Well, they're both the men's and women's team play out of Carey. Yeah, it's a great facility, and the women's,
They're
like,
one of the best in the country, right?
yes, women's soccer in North Carolina is like at the top, probably the best in the state. And yeah, a great fun sport to go and watch live.
That's right.
Yeah, speaking of Women's History Month, you brought that up. We also shared a blog post about local women entrepreneur-owned businesses in Raleigh, and I'll link to that as well. But yeah, the more we dive deeper into Raleigh, like we said, we'll often go into a business and not realizing that it's female-owned.
Yeah, that's right. And this is such a great area for anyone in business, actually. And many of our guests have spoken about what a great environment Raleigh is for business owners and entrepreneurs and that collaborative, supportive spirit. So, obviously that's going to help women in business in this city thrive and women supporting each other. And I think they're really adding a great story to Raleigh, or a great chapter to the Raleigh story, I should say, in what they offer and how they bring out the personality of Raleigh. Their businesses are so unique. Some, just off the top of my head, like Design for Joy does incredible work for women at risk in hiring them and paying them a living wage, and they're creating some beautiful jewelry and fashion products.
Yeah.
And their business is one of my favourite here in the city. So, I mean, there's just so many examples of fantastic women-owned businesses.
Yeah,
in Raleigh.
Shortlist is like, A Place at the Table, Maggie Kane.
Yeah.
Bittersweet, one of my favorite dessert bar. Centro, the Mexican place. We love your mezcal.
Oh my God, I love the mezcal bar up there.
Vita Vite Wine Bar in the Warehouse District, and the Women's Social Club, of course, with Hannah.
Yeah, I love the Women's Social Club. We interviewed Hannah here on the podcast. She started that during the pandemic. Such a great club. I love hanging out with the women there. They have 3 events a month. Obviously, you go to as many as you can. I try to go at least once a month, but with our travel schedule, it's a bit hard. But it's just such a lovely, warm, friendly, supportive group. Everyone's there is just there with the sole purpose of meeting other women and hanging out and having fun. And what I love about it is we get to meet other women-owned businesses in Raleigh. That's how I've discovered a lot of these ones, and those who are supporting doing non-profit work as well. And we get to learn from some of these women business leaders who come and share their story. But we had such a fun event just on the weekend on Saturday, and we went to Noose River Brewing, which is part women-owned. It's a husband and wife team, and they hosted So Far Sounds, and I'll explain about that in a minute. But it was So Far Sounds for this month was dedicated to Women's History Month. So it was female local artists, and So Far Sounds is something that originated in London by some people there who wanted to bring back the intimacy of live music, where you go and you watch live music and it's about the music. You don't have, all the noise and the hype and the big amps and people talking and people taking selfies and being on their phones and all of that. It really reminded me of the Bluebird Cafe in Nashville, which was one of our favourite things that we did in Nashville. And so they have these pop-up live music events, and they have different cities around the world where they do them. Thankfully, we have one in Raleigh, Durham, and they do it every month. They don't tell you the venue until like 3 days before the event. So you buy your ticket not knowing where you're going or not knowing who you're going to see. And then they let you know about 3 days before. And then I think it's the night before they release the artists. And they choose 3 local artists who are kind of emerging, and they come and you just sit and watch them, and you're not allowed to talk during their session. They encourage you to take photos and video to share that, but other than that, they don't encourage you to go on your phones. And it's just a really lovely, intimate event. So I loved experiencing that this past weekend.
Yeah, I love it.
So
Sounds
check
great.
it out. Yeah, even if you're not in Raleigh, they're in cities all around the world. It's really, really cool concept.
Yes, unbelievably, another place we went to for the first time in Raleigh, the Contemporary Art Museum, CAM. We saw that powerful display of the fierce portraits of the Senegal women.
Yeah,
which
I love
is incredible.
That.
And I can't believe we haven't been into Cam Raleigh before. Like, it's just crazy.
No, well, you know what? And this is why I love Raleigh. It helps you fall in love with things. So we were never art people. We were just like, art museum. Not that we didn't like art or anything, but we would just never go to an art museum. And because of First Fridays in Raleigh, Craig and I started going to experience them because we love to go out and do things in Raleigh. And so we would find ourselves roaming around the streets, popping into art galleries, and all of a sudden we really started enjoying ourselves, and we made it like a monthly date. So now, even when we travel now, I'm much more inclined to go into an art gallery, particularly contemporary art galleries, and I get a lot of enjoyment out of it now. And the CAM one, I think that's why we never went into it before, but now we have, and it was First Friday that pulled us into it, and what a powerful display that was.
Yeah,
as soon as you walk in the doors, and it's like like floor to ceiling portraits of these fierce Senegal women who are change makers in their culture, male dominated culture, and they're like making things happen over there. So great portraits and great stories behind each one.
Yeah, but let's be honest. Let's keep it real. It's any excuse for a drink. So if we can wander around with a glass of wine or a beer in hand and look at some art and get out of the house, we're all for it. But yeah, no, finding a new appreciation for art, and obviously, you know, super talented, and a lot goes into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but First Fridays, if you're not familiar with that in Raleigh, at the first Friday of every month, as it's called, select art galleries and stuff will open up in different places downtown, and you can wander around, and the artists are on site. You can chat with the artists, so you can buy paintings and stuff.
Listen to music.
And yeah, it's pretty cool.
And we'll just, while we're on art gallery, we'll just talk about another female-owned gallery that we visited last weekend, Charlotte Russell Gallery in 5 Points.
Yes.
That's an awesome space as well. And Charlotte started that in 2020. 2021, I get confused now. I feel like they never happened. So anyway, she started it because she noticed a gap in Raleigh where contemporary emerging women artists weren't sort of given much of a voice. So she started that and now has rotating exhibits there every 4 to 6 weeks. So we went along to the solo exhibit of King. Just hold there for a minute. I'm going to butcher how you say his name. King Nobushuki?
I never wrote it down.
Okay.
Just say King.
King Nobushuki. I'm going to go for it. Okay, let's go back in. Godwin.
Godwin, okay.
Where we saw the solo exhibit of King Nobushuki Godwin, and we absolutely loved it. And we got to meet King, and he was just such a bright spirit. Now, King was diagnosed with autism when he was 2.5, and he's only been painting for about the last 8 years. And he started because he was going to be told what work to do. I think it was like work in a supermarket or something. And he didn't want to be told what to do with his life. So he just decided he was going to start painting, and his mother was an artist. And one day his mother said to him, you know, when you paint, you paint your feelings onto the canvas. And immediately he picked up the paintbrush and started painting. He paints a lot of animals, and covering the canvas with repeated numbers and particular colours. And anyway, so his mother kept a record of these patterns. And so these repeated numbers and colours represent how he feels and his emotions. And so that's the type of artwork that he creates. But it's fantastic. It's still on, that exhibit is still on to April 6th, but I recommend that you go and have a look. I loved it a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. It was amazing. Definitely check that out. And we love 5 Points. While you're in 5 Points, check out No Foo at the Pig. Lily's Pizza's there. Crafty's the place you can get a drink just across the street. Yeah, and then you're close to some awesome breweries like Neuse River Brewing, Nickel Point, and Lone Rider.
Yeah, yep. Cool
Check
region.
Speaking of beer, 2 other female-owned businesses in Raleigh. Raleigh Brewing was the first female-owned brewery in NC. And Bombshell Beer Company out of Holly Springs is the first all-female-owned brewery. So, both got good beers. Raleigh Brewing's not far from downtown, off of just off of Hillsborough Street, out towards heading out of downtown towards Meredith College. Raleigh Brewing, and of course Holly Springs Bombshell Beer Company. Black History Month was also on in February, and we will learn a lot, even more about the history. Awesome history, so much history here in Raleigh. But every year we're just learning more, discovering places and stories of people. A great place to do that is at the Mordecai House, obviously the MLK Jr. Memorial Gardens just outside of downtown. And we learn about Black Main Street, Hargett Street, which we spent a lot of time on, and learning about the history of that. And they have some black murals painted on the sidewalk where you can learn about some particular buildings and history there. And, of course, Shaw University and stuff. But we've got a blog post that I'm going to link to about, Black History Month in Raleigh.
Yeah, and we spoke with Terrence and Kiara Ruth on a previous podcast, and we spoke then about at the City of Raleigh Museum, they have a section on the Civil Rights Trail, but focusing on the people from within this community and the changes they made. And you know, it's such an important part to the story to see how our own community was working during those times in the civil rights era. And, you know, often you're just hearing about the big stories across the nation, but so much change came about because of what people were doing in their own community. So you can learn that story at the City of Raleigh Museum.
Yeah. Yeah, another project we got going on right now is with North Hills. We are creating a 48-hour guide to North Hills, where to eat, drink, play and stay. And I'll be honest, North Hills has never been one of our go-to spots in Raleigh, but it's like everything. The more you dive into a spot, the more we appreciate it and get to like it. And we've been fortunate to eat at some great restaurants there the past 2 weekends, such as Rosewater Kitchen, which is an awesome brunch spot, but they also do lunch and dinner, obviously. Coquette Brasserie, it's like French themed. So we're getting excited about our possible Paris trip in the summer. Vivace, an Italian restaurant, and Stir. We went for brunch too on the weekend, and all four great restaurants.
Yeah.
And some
Really
new
were.
places that we haven't been to. And that other side of North Hills, the other side of Six Forks Road, we had a staycation in the AC Hotel right there, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And
we
other
did.
cool
We
things
enjoyed it a
about
lot.
North Hills is Jabala, one of our favorite coffee spots, have opened up their third location in North Hills, overlooking Midtown Park.
You could tell they needed a local coffee shop there because that place was
it was
pumping.
slammed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a gold mine for the people that live in North Hills area. And and they extended their food menu as well. But like, they've got great biscuits. Our kids love their banana and Nutella waffles, and their lattes are great.
Yep.
And they got all different styles of coffee, even flat whites for us Aussies, which is cool.
Yeah, that's
And right near there is Vita Vite Wine Bar. We've been to
Vita Vitae.
Vita Vitae. Pardon me.
We struggle with our
I
Australian
need more coffee.
pronunciations of things. We did check with
You
them while
say
we
it.
were there because we were like, okay, we need to figure out for sure once and for all how you really do say it, because we would say Vita being Australians, but it's Vita Vitae.
Yeah, I'd probably say it wrong every time. I need more wine, not coffee, actually, maybe. But we've always gone to their location in the Warehouse District, and we checked out their location in North Hills, and it's
I
great
liked
too.
it. It was cool. It's a really
Yeah.
good spot, and it's right there near the Midtown Park. So,
Yeah.
you know, you're looking out onto the greenery there, and it's a really nice spot.
Yeah. So this guide to North Hills, that'll be published in April, for stay tuned for that. We've got some other places to eat at, plus some retail shopping and whatnot.
Yeah, I was really impressed with North Hills. I'm happy because, you know, as Craig said, we didn't really care much for it, but so I'm happy to discover a new part of Raleigh to like.
Yeah, it's hard to get us out of downtown Raleigh lately.
Yes.
That's where we usually gravitate towards, but we're, spreading our wings.
Yeah,
more.
that's great.
Other fun thing we did recently was a Paddy's night party at the London Bridge pub on the Saturday night before Paddy's. Had this awesome, energetic, colourful band
Gosh,
playing
they
there.
were good.
Uh,
Tan and sober.
yeah, the Tan and Sober Gentlemen is the
Yeah.
name of the band.
And I
they
think on
rocked it.
Instagram it's tan and sober, spelling out the word and. They were incredible. So it's like they were like Irish music mixed with punk, and they just had this crazy energy. At one stage, the girl guitarist singer was on the floor playing a guitar while the cello guy was standing on top of his cello playing it and singing at the same time, and it was just nuts.
Oh, they were into it. That was a great atmosphere. Yeah,
They were
They were
fun.
a fun band to see.
And then they played Dirty Old Town, which just made me so excited because I love the Pogues. They're one of my favourite Irish bands. Classic. If you like Irish music, you don't know too much about it, you want to start somewhere, go with the Pogues. But gosh, I felt like we were back in Dublin. So good.
Yeah. Or the UK. I mean, it was exciting for us because we're going to London. Like to go to the London Bridge pub. It kind of, gives us a bit of a feeling of what's ahead.
Yeah.
And we like to do things like that. We had some great tips recently about different restaurants and experiences in Raleigh where you can envision yourself overseas. Like I mentioned in North Hills, Coquette Brasserie, because we ate snails. And I had this awesome seafood crepe. Definitely check that out.
Yeah.
Taverna Agora, the Greek experience, a Greek restaurant, several Italian restaurants around, City, the Lebanese, Mediterranean,
Beta Monday, Laotian food. Yeah, so you really can. And then other people on social media said, it's not just restaurants in Raleigh. You can experience international flavour. And someone mentioned the arboretum and how, you can go and see plants from other countries. And, if you want to get your international fix, you can find somewhere that might give you that in Raleigh.
Yeah. What else is going on in Raleigh? As I mentioned, festivals are coming up. Dreamville's on the 2nd of April, I believe. And in April is also one of our other favourite festivals, Broogaloo, which you were going to miss. I'll be out of town.
I missed the last one too because I was out of town, but I can't drink beer anyway, so
I'll take one for the team.
You can go and do that.
I'll recruit some friends for the Raleigh drinking team at Broogaloo.
I tend to get upset because I love beer and I can't drink it, so then I'll just go, I'm just going to have a beer, and then I'll regret it. So that's good.
Yeah, it was on in the fall last year because of the pandemic, but it's back to springtime this year. It's traditionally in time. April. And then also, I'm not sure when, but the food truck Rodeo, I don't think they've finalised dates, but that should be coming up soon too, which is also typically in downtown in Fayetteville Street, and just a bunch of food trucks, and also beer and music and stuff. And
we do have a post on our website, thisisraleigh.com, where we share some of the top festivals and events for the entire year.
Yep.
And then every month we publish a events list for the month coming up. So we've got a March event, a list of things happening in March, and then we'll publish the April one the last week of March to help you give you time to prepare.
Yes, we will share all those links to that new content. Other content we've also published at the start of this year are date ideas in Raleigh. So if you're looking for, it seems very popular, some date ideas. And I don't just mean going to a fancy restaurant or a cocktail bar, even things where you can get out in nature and be active. I'll link to that. And southern foods to try if you're new to Raleigh and you want to get a taste of Raleigh.
You're going to have to add sliced pie onto that.
Absolutely. Different southern foods to try and the best venues and restaurants to taste those dishes. I'll link to that as well. So along with the 24-hour and 48-hour guides, they should help you in really diving deep into Raleigh.
Yeah, and make sure you let us know what other content you want us to showcase. We've had a couple of people say they want to see some girls'
nights out,
or girls experience out. Another one wanted more information on bars and
you can take care of that one.
Stuff. I'll take care of that one. I'm doing some fun things with my women's group, discovering some good women's stuff together.
The men's group and the boys group.
Yep.
Might revolve around a few different activities.
I'm sure it will. I'm sure.
Yeah. So another popular post I did at the start of this year was reasons not to live in Raleigh. And, we like to keep it real. Raleigh's not perfect as much as we love it. It does, it's not suitable for everybody. And I
think we did a podcast episode on it too, didn't we?
So I'll link to that podcast and that blog post. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking about moving to Raleigh, sure, we think you should move to Raleigh. It's a great place to live, but, it's not perfect.
No.
And we'll explain why.
No place is. It's like about figuring out what's perfect for you or what's near perfect or as best as can be for you. But, I felt like I've sprinted this first quarter of 2022. I think maybe, with things seeming like they're better with COVID, it's kind of this intention to just get out and do as much as we can and take advantage of it. I also last month went to Jordan, the country in the Middle East, for a week.
As you do. Again, it's not just around the corner.
Not just around the corner. Actually, that's the longest flight I've taken. That was like flying to Australia. Actually, it was longer than flying to Australia. I had 3 legs of flights. One leg was 16 hours. So you can imagine that was really tough, but so worth it. Jordan was incredible. First time I've been to the Middle East, if you don't count Turkey. Sometimes people put Turkey into the Middle East category, but other than that, absolutely amazing country. You can check out whytravelblog.com. I've published the posts there on my trip and have shared some reels and things on Instagram as well, but just an amazing experience.
Yeah, awesome. And other getaways that we've had out of Raleigh, because we've had a few, as much as we love Raleigh, it's always nice to get away for a day or two or a weekend. And so we had the Outer Banks Winter Getaway, which we've published some content on and we'll share links to as well, and why, Outer Banks is not just a summer destination. There's a lot of things to do
year-round.
away from the beach.
Yeah.
And it's a lot less people and a lot cheaper. So keep that in mind. Wilmington, we recently had a weekend getaway to Wilmington. We always love Wilmington and the Riceville Beach area. But it's the first designated weekend getaway just focused on Wilmington we've done in a long time. So we've got some tips and that to share with you there and some content. I'll link to that as well, and still got some video coming out. Where else have we been in this first quarter of the year?
I think that's all. As for getting away from Raleigh, that's all the getaways that we have done. It's just been exploring a lot of Raleigh and doing a lot of home life. Our daughter Savannah's been playing basketball and she's now playing soccer, and so we've been balancing it out with that as well.
Yeah, been busy with the kids, like the sport that's finally come back again, which is new to us. We're doing the soccer mum car thing now, and basketball has just finished, but we're busy with that. Those games on Saturdays and Sunday.
Yeah, it's been fun.
It was a little challenging with the snow cancellations and stuff earlier in the year, but we got there. And then recently with the rain, with the soccer. But yeah, and our oldest is doing tennis, which is cool, getting them out of the house.
Yeah, that's right.
Always. And now as the weather's warming up, once we get back from London, we're going to look to hit more of the trails, and looking forward to eating out on the sidewalks and getting out in nature more. And festival season. Excited for that.
Yep, enjoying Raleigh in the warm weather. Can't beat it.
Yeah. Oh, other life updates I forgot to mention. We've done quite a few awesome concerts. Content. Got that on my brain. We took our eldest daughter, you might have heard, to the Billie Eilish concert in Charlotte. When was that? February? I can't remember.
Beginning of February, yeah.
Wow, time's gone so quick. Feels like 2 weeks ago. So that was awesome. She loved that. We didn't really get to see much of Charlotte, so I can't comment too much on Charlotte. And we've only been there previously for small visits as well, to go to a Panthers game or to go to a conference. One day we'll explore Charlotte properly. But we also went to the Imagine Dragons concert in PNC, which was great.
They were awesome. They were so awesome. It was their third concert back from obviously the pandemic. Billy's was the same. It was her third concert too, which is kind of great that we're in that location, I suppose, where they can come here quite early on the tour. Because one thing I was thinking about, Imagine Dragons, they didn't leave anything on the stage. They were just phenomenal.
Dynamic.
So dynamic. And you could tell they really loved what they were doing. You could tell they really wanted to give everyone a great performance. And his vocal range is just unbelievable, and he raps, and the energy, like, it goes low and then all of a sudden they're bouncing around, there's fireworks, and just so great. And I was thinking, gosh, they do this for like every night for weeks, if not months. How must his voice be at the end of it? So I was like, I'm so glad we're at the beginning, because I would hate that, if something happened to his voice and he couldn't sing and you'd miss it out. But God, they were good. They were so good. I loved it.
Yeah, and we went to the Backyard Bistro before the concert, which is near the PNC, and that's a cool spot.
It is.
Yeah, it's super casual. It's a bit of an NC State hangout, and Hurricanes ice hockey, because it's right near the stadium, just like an easy walk.
And here's a top tip, because we were quite shocked and horrified that parking at PNC was like $30.
Yeah.
You can go and park at the Backyard Bistro for $20.
For $20. Grab a meal.
Yeah.
Have a few beers and then just walk over to the concert. It was kind of easier to get, and you're not in the main car park at PNC, so it's easier to get out after the
we
concert.
got straight out, didn't we?
Yeah, because you miss all the super congestion around PNC. But yeah, that's a cool bar anyway. I like it. A lot of sports memorabilia there. Really bar, local joint.
Yeah. Good vibes.
Yeah, so check that out. Backyard Bistro. Foo Fighters we've got coming up. Speaking of concerts, in May we've got tickets to the Foo Fighters, which we're super excited about. With one of our favourite bands that we've yet to see live, and finally we get to see them, because we're usually either away when they come to wherever we are in the city, or we just keep missing them all the time. But that's
excited.
At Walnut Creek.
That's at Walnut Creek. Cool. So concert season, or outdoor concerts anyways, it's coming up in Raleigh, and we just think there's so many live acts that pass through here. It's really quite amazing. Being from Australia, we're too far from everyone, so we don't get a lot of big name live acts coming through, especially artists from other countries. So, it's so exciting to us when we see all these artists come to Raleigh, and we're just a small city really. So keep an eye out, see who's coming. You can get some decent price tickets from Walnut Creek if you go on the grass. And we find the grass area great.
Yeah, we love sitting on the hill there.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get down in the the mosh pit area and stuff like that. If you want to pay for it,
yeah.
I'd definitely do that. But yeah, the grass hill is cool. It's chilled.
It is.
Sounds
Coca
pretty
Booth,
good.
that's one of my favourite venues. Obviously, it's much smaller, but you can. We saw Jack Johnson play there years ago, but great venue.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
venue.
Raleigh's got some great venues between Walnut Creek, the Coastal Credit Union Music Park, they call it now, PNC Arena for indoors, Red Hat Amphitheatre downtown, and Coca Booth in Carey, right near the lake and the pine forest. Yeah, we've seen like Coldplay, Jack Johnson, obviously. You saw Billy on a previous tour a few years ago, Billie Eilish.
Yep.
Yeah, we've seen some good bands.
Yep. Chris Stapleton, we saw him.
Chris Stapleton.
It's fantastic.
Walnut Creek.
Yep. But we love it. Yeah, we love going and seeing the live music, and, where our intention is always moments and memories over possessions. So that's where we put our time and resources into live events and concerts and fun things like that.
Yes. So anything else Raleigh specific in this first quarter we've done? We've been busy with other projects on our other website and just, general life stuff with just being parents, having kids, school, sports. But yeah, once we get back from London in April 7, we know the weather's going to be even warmer than now, and we're going to be out amongst it. And we're looking to finally have our first meetup socially. I don't know where and when exactly yet, but stay tuned for that. We'll let you know through our email and through our social channels. We'd just like to get together and have a casual drink, either at a brewery or a bar or somewhere. And we're going to try and make it consistently, maybe once a month or every other month or something like that. Yeah,
and we really, feel more confident given how things are hopefully evolving in a positive way in regards to COVID. So it's like, now it's the time we can really start to gather and have a lot of fun and, not just meet you guys that are part of our community, but have you all meet each other. It's a great way to connect with other people and make new friends. And
we spend way too much time networking online, like obviously the last 2 years especially, but we love to get out and face-to-face meet new people, or whether you're local, you've lived here all your life, or you're new to the area. Love to hear your story, hear your tips, and we can share ours, and just the love of travel and living in Raleigh and local beer and food.
Yep, lots of fun things to talk about.
Definitely going to do that. We've got, new content, obviously. We're going to get out. We're going to hit some brunch spots, all the trails, different bars and stuff like that. Any other event and festival we can get to if we're in town. So stay tuned for all that. We'd like to create some merch. I'm going to start off with some T-shirt. I know I've spoken about this before, but it's just been, buried under lists of other things to do and with the pandemic and stuff like that. And other travels, we're planning, hopefully in the summer when the kids are off, to do Paris and the Greek islands.
Let's hope we can. When I look at that calendar and realize when we get back, and
it's like around the corner.
It's like, oh my gosh.
We can do it.
Oh my gosh, can we
That's
do it?
how we roll.
Can we do it?
Last minute.
Yeah.
But this London trip and this France and the Greek Isles trip, this is something we wanted to do 2 years ago, but obviously you all know what happened there.
Yes, and we have been sharing, and because we couldn't do any international travel, we have been accumulating a lot of mileage points. Miles and points. I call them different things here. I always get confused. And so we have accumulated around 1 million points, which is a lot.
Yes.
And so that's one reason we can just hop on over to Europe, because we can use our points to get free flights.
Yeah, we're fortunate enough to get our return flights to London for all four of us using our points, and we can chat about this maybe in a post-London podcast and blog post, or even at the information night if we have that, and share our strategies and tips for planning and experiencing travel, because I know it is super time consuming. It's difficult. There's a lot to figure out, and even though we've been doing it for full time for so many years, it's still overwhelming.
Yeah,
if we can make it easier and seamless for you guys, hopefully that can help.
And that's what we do. We dive in, we figure it out ourselves, and then we share it with you to hopefully help you not make the mistakes that we make for you.
Yeah. We like to do it, help people in Raleigh just for doing
like, oops,
Raleigh
we
stuff.
should've done
Whereas
that.
people, figure out where, the hardest thing is to figure out where to eat. And every trip we go on, like it's so hard to figure out with 4 people, different tastes,
Yeah.
gluten insensitives. Our youngest daughter is super fussy. Yeah, the eating thing is tough. So,
It really is hard.
but yeah, a lot goes into travel, but, we've got some methods to help you.
We have, and we saved ourselves about $1,500, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
We were going to rent a car, and then we remembered, hang on a minute, Europe especially, but other countries have such great public transport networks. And we said, what about the train? I mean, and you forget because America's such a car-dependent country, especially in Raleigh.
Yeah, that's one of the least favorite things about Raleigh. There's a lack of public transport. Having to drive everywhere. I just miss just jumping on the subway or the tube and just get anywhere easily, cheaply.
Yeah. And so we're going to Oxford and Bath, and we were going to rent a car and drive there. And then we're like, hang on, we don't need to. We can get a train that's way cheaper. We can take all our luggage, and it only takes about an hour, and no one has to drive. We can look out the window at the pretty English countryside.
Yeah.
So
when I was looking at renting the cars there, because in the UK, and to get a cheaper car there, you drive manual, which I'm fine with. I grew up driving manuals.
Or stick shifts.
Stick shifts, as you call it here. But it's on the other side of the road for you guys, which might be, daunting. And yeah, trying to find a car big enough to throw 4 suitcases in was a challenge. And then the paying for gas and everything was like, no, let's just get a train.
Yeah.
Stress-free, easy.
I love it. Getting around the
Super
tube there.
efficient.
Oh my gosh, you can see I'm just so excited. I could just sit here for the next hour and talk about London.
Oh man, we might have to go down to the London Bridge pub after this and have a pint
Oh my God, there's a great idea.
and finalise our plans.
We did actually walk to Fortnight Brewery the other night because we can walk there, and it is an English themed brewery. And so we're like, oh my God, we're just so excited. We just have to go down there and pretend we're in London, look at the fake tube sign they have there.
Oh, we're like little kids again. It's our first trip ever.
Oh my gosh, let's go.
But we're excited. We're excited for the rest of the year in Raleigh and look forward to connecting with you guys and sharing more of our Raleigh love and tips and stuff. But thanks for listening to our first quarter wrap, and stay tuned for our updates moving forward.
Yeah, we're excited to have you part of our This Is Raleigh community. Thanks for hanging out with us. We really appreciate your support, your encouragement, your ideas, and all your tips. So keep them coming. They're awesome. Head on over to thisisraleigh.com, join our email newsletter, email community, and you will get that weekly update from us, sharing cool finds, things that are happening, and then we regularly update you when we have new content and things going on like meetups and merch and all of that. So that's the best way to stay connected.
Yeah, send us an email anytime with questions. We like helping out. Send us a DM on Instagram or Facebook. It's all good. And we'll do our best to get back to you as quick as we can. Once again, this podcast is getting recorded in the Raleigh Founded studio at the Earfluence podcast studio inside Raleigh Founded co-working space in the Warehouse District. Thanks to Jason and the team from Earfluence Media for producing this. And if anyone's out there looking for help with a podcast to edit, produce, market, get started, check out Earfluence Media.
All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with us, and we will see you in the next episode.
Cheers, guys.
When we're
See
back
you when we
from
get back from London. Stay tuned. Bye.